Okay, hey guys, Julie Cards here. I just want to showcase a GOAT deck list. I played this at locals like probably about a year ago now at this rate, and went XO. But I do have to say the list isn't very good. However, it's entirely misprinted, and yeah, that's the reason it's cool. So I just want to showcase it and let people see a bit of the collection. Okay, so starting off with the main deck, we have, these are pretty well known. It's the CT1 Blade Knights. They were printed as secret rares, but on some sort of batch of them, they didn't give them the secret rare foiling. So if the name isn't secret, but the picture isn't like a super/ultra foiling. Next we have two DB2 Spanish Donzalugs. This is one that people never really see the misprint until you point it out, and it's so obvious. But monsters always have a line above attack and defense. The Donzalug does not have that line, so I don't know how they missed that one. But yeah, cool little misprint. Another common one. So these were all copies of DB2 Spanish. The Blade Knights were a certain batch, and same goes for the Goblin Attack Force. The attribute symbol that focuses, instead of showing the Earth symbol, that kind of browny symbol, it shows another level star. So again, all of these were kind of like early 2000s. So you kind of have to wonder who was messing up so often. Here we have a Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke. It's just a miscut. You can kind of see the line kind of overextends on this side, so that's that. Same with this Breaker. It's just miscut. Nothing too fancy. Yeah, DD Warrior Lady, slight name shift. I've kind of slowly upgraded anything I could while building the deck, but obviously scarcity is your biggest issue. So we've Exile Force, again massive miscut at the bottom. Probably the coolest miscut in the deck, we have the Sangan, and it's miscut so much the white line from the top of the border of the sheet is visible, so it's a cool one. But yeah, there's some cards I want a main deck that I just can't find. I've lost 2 public biddings on what's he called, the Mystic Swordsman level 2, and that's a card you would just definitely play in this deck. So same with BLS. You're trying to get a BLS, and anytime one comes up that's misprinted, someone else just gets it, so a bit annoying. But I'm just going to show the Trinity at once. Pot of Greed is that's the Spanish symbol for LOB. So pretty nice miscut. Again, you can kind of see the start of the next card, and this is 25 years or 23 years old now, so pretty rare find. Same with this Graceful. This is from the Pegasus deck, but if you see, the foil has a line coming across here, and something's the card, if that focuses in a bit, you can kind of see the hands, you can see the top of the hair. It's all kind of shifted down, and then even on that bottom kind of bar thingy, the hollow extends to there, so that's that. And then again, finding duos are kind of hard, but this one just kind of extends out of the name. Not the best, but yeah, it counts. Next we have Premature Burial. This one has no Eye of Anubis. This is just a random eBay find a couple years ago. This Snatch Steal, it's pretty cool. Again, it's MRL original. Well, original from when it was changed from SRL, but yeah, next we play two upstarts. So obviously this one is no name, from the, what's it called, maximum gold, whatever. This one is like miscut, but also the printing happened on the miscut, so the name is off as well, which is pretty cool. Then we've got two Noblemen of Crossout. Again, they're miscut in kind of opposite directions of each other. This one's destroyed, but it's pretty hard to find any good ones anyway. Next, this is another one of the, like, it's less so a printing error and more so like some kind of the issue with the, when they brought the card to print. So this is reinforcements of the army, but if you read the effect, it says increase the attack of all warrior type monsters on the field by 200 points for every monster, warrior or spellcaster face up on your field. So for people who don't know, this is a card called the A Forces, and all copies of DB2 French reinforcements of the army come with that text box, where it's a completely different card. So I don't know how that happened. But next we have two Book of Moons. These were pulled by my friend Darren Stevenson on stream, so the name is off, but in case anyone was wondering about like looking like the name is rubbed off, he pulled up a case of Blar that was like this, and I just got onto him as soon as possible saying I have one misprinted Book of Moon and I wanted the other two, so those are those. This Heavy Storm is pretty cool. The Anubis is like completely off, so yeah, that one's cool. Next we have a MST. I got this off my friend Gavin. Oh wait, sorry, no. SRL is the reprint. This is the original one. Sorry. Yeah, so that is MRL. Sorry. And then the MST, it's just got no name. I got this from my friend Gavin. He said some guy at his locals or somewhere in Scotland opened the box of the Legendary Collection reprints, but like the OG one back in like 2012, 2011, whenever the first Legendary Collection came out, and he just got all the hollows off him. So next we have three Judgments. They're all just different like name shifts, but it's annoying because like ideally I get another one of the Joey's World Secrets with a name shift, but for now I just have this one rare, which is the most shifted of the three anyway. So next, one card that like there's three trio of traps I think you play in Warrior normally. It's Judgment, Dust Shoot. Dust Shoot you can play two of, but 3 Dust Shoot, and then 3 Sack. But the issue with like Sack was, for years the only like hollow printing the card had was like a super rare in a Legendary Collection and the CP super, and generally supers are like the least misprinted cards after commons, because there's no like there's only the Anubis stamping. So these were so hard to find, 3 Sacks. I think maybe it's a bit easier now because it was reprinted as a Platinum Secret, but these are all just varying levels of miscut, because that's all you can kind of get with commons, is miscuts or Anubis shifts. This one's kind of cut at an angle. You can kind of see the line run sideways, and then it kind of like narrows this way as well, so that's cool. But yeah, on the topic of Dust Shoot, like I've lost, I'd say, 2 auctions on misprinted dust sheets. So unfortunately, until I can find 3 dust sheets, I'm main decking triple compulse, which is quite okay. Usually it's kind of like tempo swings. You can use it to dodge traps and things like brain control, but especially on something like your Danzalugs. But it's really nice against like anything with Metamorphosis, because you just hit the whatever they summon. But yeah, it's nice when you have Zalug, because you can kind of just like, if you get 1 or 2 Zalugs out and you have this set, you just go into battle phase, compulse their monster, and then swing. So to round up the main deck traps, we have a few one-offs here now. So one Dust Tornado. Sorry, I was about to say one I haven't. This is a DB1 misprint. There's a few DB1 misprints. Basically what happened was they somehow mapped the names of the DB2 misprints to a later batch of DB1 prints. So it was kind of like a sneak preview of what the rares would be in the next set, but it's cool. Next we have this Torrential. Nothing too crazy, it's just a name shift. Then we have this called the Haunted. Again, PSV first. Name just kind of shifted slightly out of the box. Then another one of the like common kind of shift issues. For people who don't know, I'm just gonna try and cover this misprint so I don't reveal it. But secret rares usually go in this kind of bottom left towards top right motion, while as what they call reverse secrets, they somehow kind of tilted it 90 degrees. So it should be going this way. They tilted it 90 degrees, now it's going this way. So that's a reverse hollow ring. And then to round up the deck, the main deck anyway, we've got this first edition PMT is the Portuguese code for MOD or Metal Raiders, and we just have the Anubis being quite drastically off. So that's the main deck, 40 cards. Okay, so I'm going to show side deck because it's the most important thing, but then afterwards I do have some fusions. So we've got 3 Quick Creeper Spies, pretty hefty name shift. Shout out to my friend Kat for this. She had a friend who pulled a pack with misprints like this, and then I told them to get the rest of the box, and they did, and everything was misprinted, so that was pretty cool. Next we've got the 3rd Danzalug. This is just a miscut again, kind of goes all the way up to the next card. Okay, so the thing with the side deck is a lot of these cards are just like, I have 15 cards in here to put in, but same with these 2 Magician of Fates from the same structure deck, just miscut. Must have happened to like the whole structure deck, because yeah, same goes for this. I believe this is in the same structure deck, the Tsukiyomi. So a lot of these cards are just like essentially like maybe a smokescreen, if you want to call it that, in these 3 and the Spies, just because like they don't have knocks in main deck. But like these are just like, I had them and I don't have better misprinted cards to put in main, so to just be honest. Next we've got 2 Kinetic Soldiers. This is another one of the like common ones. Everything from CPO4, all the rare Kinetic Soldiers were printed as light attributes instead of earth. So Just be careful with that if anyone ever tries to banish it for BLS. Next, we've got this cool Turbo Pack 7 Book of Moon with a pretty hefty name shift. Yeah, I think I paid less on this than the other books, and this one is like a Turbo Pack 1, so don't ask me how. So then to round up the spells in the side deck, a card that should really be Smashing Ground, if you're gonna even, like, I don't even think you would side Smashing Ground, but this is objectively the worst version of Smashing Ground, but it's removal and I have 3 misprints of it. So firstly, we've got this fissure that has a stamp issue. Next, we have a fissure that is a first edition, but the stamp is silver. This is from a wave of Structure X Joey ones. There's another one in here in the fusion deck, which I'll get to. Weird. And then there's a crimped DB1 rare fissure. So this is an example of the DB1 rares having the correct name. But yeah, then to round up the side deck, we've got a second copy of Dust Tornado. This one just has a miscoat. I think it's less cool than the one I have now. Okay, so we've done main, we've done side. Next, I'm just going to showcase the tokens. Now, you might have noticed I do not play Scapegoat. So unless I get Ojama trioed, there's pretty much no way for me to get tokens. But this is a sick one. It's named, printed twice. So this is the best token by far I have. The next we have is this slightly name shift Gores token. Again, it's not too crazy. Same goes for this name shifted Yugi token. Ideally, I get one of the name shifted Kaiba tokens and we have a little set. But next, we've got this Grinder Golem token. Again, it was just crimped in the packaging for the tins. And for the 5th token, we've got this Regenerating Rose with the Anubis shift. Another thing, for base set Pokemon fans, there's 2 cards with pretty common misprints, and they're both Vulpix and Ninetales. The Ninetales has like the shifted, this fire emblem is turned 90 degrees, but all the Vulpix is, Pokemon cards say 50 HP generally, and for Vulpix specifically, they say HP 50 in the base set. So I just use these as like extra tokens. They really just go in the deck box, they don't really do anything. And then for the fusion deck, much like how I don't need tokens because I don't play any Scapegoats, I don't play Metamorphosis, so this is another hard thing to need, but I've got a big chunk of fusions misprinted, so I might as well go into them. So these are 3 Flame Wingmen, all with the same error. The Anubis is kind of shifted up to here, and then not on the bottom, so I don't, usually it's like if it would be here, it would kind of show at the top here, because it just gets printed onto a sheet of cards, but so I have no idea how they have that. This is, I think, the coolest one I have. It's a 1st edition TLM Italian, what's his name? Thunder Giant. Missing the Eye of Anubis. So, again, pretty hard to find 1st edition multi-heroes. To find one with that kind of error and not pay crazy for it was nice. Next, we have Tesnaz. This is fucked. This is really damaged. Like, you can see a bend, the crease kind of through the middle, but it's just got a name shift. So that's that. This is an error which kind of happened to all Flowers of Copywolf from LOB, but they usually, again, you look at a fusion monster and it'll just list the 2 materials underneath the effect, or underneath the spellcaster or whatever attributes types. But these just randomly say the word fusion before listing the materials, and it's not all copies of it. It's like a certain batch of unlimited LOB ones. So like the first sets don't say this, so I don't know how they did that, but look. Next we have a Flame Ghost, Phantasma Flamigero. Again, just massive cut. I think I got this off the same guy I got the Polygreed off, so explains why it's the exact same as Polygreed. We've got a Balder, just a miscut super. Yeah. Next we've got 1,000 Dragons. These two are reverse hollows, just like the Ring of Destruction. One's first ed, one's not first ed. And then just like the Fissure I showed earlier, it's a first edition with an unlimited stamp. I should have the Flaming Man somewhere, but I can't find it, and it's really annoying me because I would like to have another fusion for this deck. But then we've got the, I can't remember what it's called, I think it's Metal Dragon. But for anyone who knows this card, it is a wind monster, and in the Japanese set that this originally came out in, they accidentally made it a dark. So again, it's never going to come up, but might as well have them. So this is a MOD common with no Anubis. I have a few of these in here. I got them all off the same guy, so I'm just going to leave this here for now. The other copy of Roaring Sea Snake I have, or Ocean Snake, has a massive miscut, so that's that. Now we've got 2 copies of Skull Knight. Again, both of these have no Anubis, and they're MOD fusions. So here. Same goes for these 2 copies of Labyrinth Tank I got. No Anubis is the only error. Next we have this Bikuri box, whatever you want to call it. It's an MOD fusion with no Anubis. We've got this Empress Judge. It's an MOD fusion, again no Anubis, and I think I have a few more. Okay, I've got this copy of Kaminari Attack, and it's got no Anubis. This is probably the most relevant one because it was played in OG Thunder. Same, this Rabbit Horseman, probably the most iconic of these fusions, or Labyrinth Tank. No Anubis, and a copy of Punished Eagle, again with no Anubis. Some guy posted like a whole binder of MRD cards with no Anubis, so I just picked up all the fusions because I didn't really need anything else. MOD commons are like pretty, like the first couple sets commons are pretty bad. So next we've got 2 fusionists. You can see this one's just a miscut. This one has a miscut and a slight name shift. It's weird, sometimes with miscuts the names are stamped correctly, sometimes they're not. I don't really know why. So next we've got this Cybersource, and it just has some like ink damage here. Usually with sun damage it would affect the whole card, but sometimes ink gets on the card, or it doesn't get on the card properly in printing, and you get things like this. We've got a Dragonis, the Wicked Knight, just miscut, nothing too fancy. We've got this XY Cannon Dragon, I think, and its Anubis was kind of half printed. So I have a few like I collect hero cards as well, and I have a few of them with that same issue, so it must just be that time period. And then to round up the extra deck, we've got 2 copies of Gaia. I'm still actively looking for the Royal Oppression one, which is one of the DB1 rares, but I can't find any. So this one is from the Gold Mago, Maximum Gold, and no name, no imprint. And this one is a Secret Rare. They printed Ultra Text on it, and yeah. So it's kind of like the opposite of that Blade Knight. from earlier, but I would like the Royal Oppression rare from the OG set. So yeah, so that is the MISPRINT goat deck. I've had it for a while. I kind of put off posting this anywhere because I wanted to get things like chapter shoots, things like Mystic Swordsman level 2, BLS, stuff like that. But it's just becoming harder and harder to find anything. So I was like, I'm just going to post this now, and if I need to update it, I'll update it. But for now, it's 3D Cards signing out. Peace.